Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Ridge questions Thomas' engagement to Paris, and Hope accuses Steffy of having an agenda. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At Forrester, Steffy calls Hope out for kissing Thomas. She tells her he's moving on with Paris, someone who is committed to him and wants a future with him. You need to leave Thomas alone and respect his wishes. Hope asks if it doesn't worry her that Thomas proposed to her not that long ago and is now engaged to Paris. Come on, Steffy, that doesn't concern you. In the design office, Ridge is still trying to process that Paris and Thomas are engaged when his son walks in. He would have told his father about his engagement sooner, but it didn't feel like the right time. Ridge asks why he would keep this from him. You told Steffy, but you didn't tell me. Why? Thomas knows he's messed up with relationships in the past. He just wanted to be 100% sure about this before he told him. I am Dad. At Bill's place, Luna asks her mother if she's okay. She's been out of it since the pizza guy came. Bill walks in and couldn't help but overhear. He asks who came by. Poppy says a deliver guy came by and she wasn't expecting him. Bill's unimpressed with his security and says he'll deal with them. He's very protective of his family. He steps away to take a call from Liam about work, and Luna notices a flyer about live music by Tom Starr at El Giardino tonight. She tells her mother it sounds like fun. They should go. At El Giardino, Tom strums his guitar and tells Deacon and Hollis that music has been a big part of his life, all of his life. Deacon is blown away by his talent and gushes that the patrons are in for a treat. Tom appreciates the opportunity. Hollis asks about his performing past. Tom says he's performed at bars and festivals. Music's in my blood. Hollis thinks it must have been a rush playing on stage. Tom reveals that he had quite a following and got some radio play. They ask if they'd know the song. Tom says they'll have to listen and find out for themselves. In the design office, Paris exits and Thomas says to his father, "Surprise." Ridge asks if Douglas likes her. Thomas says he does, and it goes both ways. Ridge says they seem good together. I like her. Everyone in the building likes her. Thomas feels like there's a but coming. Ridge asks why he needs to get married after everything he just went through with Hope. In the main office, Steffy is concerned that Hope will try to get in her brother's head. They go over the reasons Hope turned him down. She says this feels rushed and reactionary. How can you honestly say that you don't agree? At Bill's place, Luna tells her mom that they should go see this Tom Starr guy. Bill rejoins them and Luna asks if he sings. He jokes that every dog howls along with him. Poppy thinks they should stay home together. Luna suddenly asks if protecting her heart was the only reason she didn't tell her who her father was all these years. At El Giardino, Tom talks to Hollis about what it's like to inspire an audience. Hollis assumes he had groupies. Tom admits the girls were crazy for him, but that was a long time ago. A lifetime. Deacon muses that maybe he can get a little of that magic back tonight. In the design office, Thomas insists to his father that he's ready to marry Paris. There was a spark between them even when they roomed together. Ridge protests that a spark and getting married are two different things. Thomas says he was a mess when he got to Paris, and Paris pulled him out of that. Ridge asks if he loves her, or does he just need to shut down his feelings for Hope. Thomas asks if he really thinks he'd use Paris to get over Hope. Ridge says it's a terrible reason to marry someone. Thomas insists that's not the reason. He finally let go of Hope and this wonderful person was standing right in front of him. He understands his father's concern, but Hope couldn't commit to him. Maybe this was all just meant to be the way it all unfolded. He tells Ridge that Paris is the woman he wants to be with, and I'm going to marry her. In the main office, Steffy thinks Thomas is a grown man who can make his own decisions. Hope can't understand why she's not worried. Steffy thinks Hope is really just concerned about herself. She wants Thomas to still be in love with her, and it's really sad. Hope says she told Thomas that she would respect his decision. Steffy snarks that she then kissed him. Hope feels she misconstrued it and reminds her that her feelings for him haven't changed. At Bill's place, he tells Luna that her mother had her reasons for keeping quiet. Luna can't understand why she'd need to be protected from him. Poppy says she's right and she feels incredibly guilty. Luna asks if there's another reason why she didn't tell her the truth. At Il Giardino, Tom prepares for the show on stage. He sips some water and thinks. In the main office, Hope wonders if Steffy's even thought about how this might impact Douglas. She realizes Steffy knew all along and didn't say anything. Hope fumes that she's probably been pushing them together. Steffy knew they were together, but the engagement was news to her. She's happy that he's finally with a woman who truly loves and appreciates him. At least she's not wearing his engagement ring around her neck as a necklace. My God. Hope fumes that she just wants her brother with anyone but her. And that is what this is all about. Isn't it, Steffy? The warm California sun poured through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Forrester Creations, casting long shadows on the impeccably designed office spaces. Ridge Forrester stood at his desk, staring intently at the digital calendar on his computer screen. His son Thomas Forrester was getting engaged to Paris Buckingham, and while Ridge was no stranger to the whirlwind romances that often enveloped the Forrester family, something about this engagement gave him pause. Ridge picked up the phone, his fingers tapping a familiar number. Within moments, Thomas walked in, exuding a confidence that was both reassuring and unsettling. "Dad, you wanted to see me?" Thomas asked, his voice calm but curious. Ridge gestured to the chair opposite his desk. "Sit down, Thomas. We need to talk." Thomas obliged, his eyes narrowing slightly as he sensed the gravity of the conversation. Ridge leaned forward, his hands clasped together, searching for the right words. "Thomas, I've been thinking a lot about your engagement to Paris," Ridge began. "I know you care about her, but are you sure this is the right move?" Thomas' expression remained steady, though a flicker of annoyance crossed his features. "Dad, I love Paris. She's been an incredible support to me, and I think we have a future together. Why are you questioning this?" Ridge sighed, leaning back in his chair. "It's not that I doubt your feelings, but you've rushed into things before, and it hasn't always ended well. I just want to make sure you're making this decision for the right reasons, not because you feel pressured or because you're trying to prove something." Thomas clenched his jaw, his frustration evident. "Dad, I'm not a kid anymore. I know what I want. Paris and I are happy together, and I don't see why you can't just support us." Ridge nodded slowly, recognizing the stubborn determination in his son's eyes. "All right, Thomas. I'll support you, but I hope you're truly considering everything. Marriage is a big step." As Thomas stood to leave, the door swung open and Hope Logan entered, her expression troubled. She paused, sensing the tension in the room, but pressed on. "Ridge, Thomas," she greeted, her voice strained. "I need to talk to you both." Thomas raised an eyebrow. "Hope, what's going on?" Hope took a deep breath, her eyes darting between the two men. "It's about Steffy. I think she's up to something." Ridge frowned. "What do you mean?" Hope's gaze hardened. "I've noticed how Steffy's been acting lately, especially around Liam and me. It's like she's trying to manipulate things, to get into Lamb's head. I wouldn't put it past her to have an agenda." Thomas scoffed, crossing his arms. "Hope, you always think the worst of Steffy. Maybe she's just trying to live her life without any drama." Hope shook her head, frustration bubbling to the surface. "Thomas, this isn't just about me being paranoid. Steffy has a history of stirring up trouble when it comes to Liam and me. I need to know that she's not going to interfere with our family." Ridge stood, stepping between the two. "All right, enough. We're not going to start another family feud over suspicions. Hope, if you're concerned, talk to Steffy directly. We can't keep jumping to conclusions without evidence." Hope nodded reluctantly. "Fine, I'll talk to her. But don't say I didn't warn you." As Hope left the room, Thomas turned back to Ridge, his expression softening slightly. Dad, I know you're worried about me, and I appreciate it, but I need you to trust me on this. Paris and I are going to make this work.